Susie Q.
Hey there.
Hello.
Brain Candy Podcast, episode 881. Welcome.
881.
How's
it's
everybody
snowing.
doing?
I'm feeling cozy. Just in my little cabin here.
Yeah, I'm fucking sick of it.
Already? Oh, because the holidays are over. You do this every year. Yes. You're like, I love the snow and the Christmas and everything until, or like all of that, until the holidays are over. And then you're just miserable until those little tulips start poking their head.
Every
or
morning,
dandelion, daffodils, whatever.
I walk into the gym, and it's not even light out yet. It's always dark. Wow. And I walk in, and it's the same girl every day. And she's like, good morning. And I'm like, why do we live here?
You said that to her?
Every day. And she laughs every day.
That's so
But
funny.
I genuinely want to know. I'm not even doing a bit. I'm just like, what the fuck?
What are we doing? Right. Well, because it looks so beautiful in the springtime and other times. And look at all the beautiful land that you get. And
I always said to my mom, though, when I lived in LA, because she was like, I just love the seasons.
Right,
I love
right.
the seasons. And I was like, I lived there for years and years. And not one day was I like bored with the sun. Never. I wasn't
in
like,
LA.
oh, it's sunny again. I never got sick of the sunshine.
I think I did, maybe.
Oh, you wanted rain?
I wanted a little
you
mix
wanted
up.
gloom.
You're right.
Well,
if
I
it stays,
didn't.
well, you know
and
what?
that's
You're
why
right.
I shouldn't fucking live here.
Yeah, you're right. Because when I lived in San Francisco and it was gloomy, hated it. Hated the weather in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Everything else.
Maybe for
nice.
some people it's fucking great. They can't get enough of this hellhole.
Yeah.
For me, no thanks.
Well, I'm really glad that you gave me a perfect opportunity to talk about an interaction that I had at the gym, because you said you went into the gym and the lady, you have your whole little like bit that you do. Mm-hmm. I went into the gym recently and I forgot my little pass that they scan. And I said, hey, would you mind just like looking me up? And she goes, oh yeah, no problem. I see you here all the time. So you would have thought, like, hearing the woman who worked at the front desk tell me that she like recognizes me for my many trips to gym was all I needed to confirm that I am achieving my goals. I am a gym going individual. I'm like, the people at the front desk. She goes, you're here all the time. Oh,
I love how you don't know why they recognize you though.
Not in my demographic. This woman was 65.
Okay, now
Yes.
we're talking.
Yes, Susie, don't think I didn't think of that.
You convinced me. I
That
was like, Sarah,
mattered.
please
I'm
get your
talking
head out of your
no
ass.
chance she knows. No, she does not know me from that.
Okay, well, I'm really
That was a
proud of
straight
you.
up, I just recognized you from being here. And I was like, oh my God, I am a gym goer. They know me.
That's
And I felt
great.
so good.
Good for you. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I'm
Pump
trying.
up, baby.
I'm really trying. I'm trying
I hope
to.
everyone's resolutions are hanging in there.
Yeah, well, we're doing goal setting and intentions.
I made a
But
big
not
mistake.
resolutions. What?
Well, in addition to my theme and all that, I always have like some, things I want to improve or whatever.
yeah.
It's never just like one thing.
Like your pull-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I made the mistake of telling Lincoln one of my
Oh, no.
resolutions, because one of my resolutions was every night at bedtime, he asks me to snuggle. And that is darling
I mean.
and so great. But like sometimes I'm tired and like I'm already in bed.
Right.
And he's like, will you come snuggle me or whatever? And I'm just, whatever. So I wanted to resolve to do that anytime he asked, because it won't be long before he fucking never asks me
You are
again.
absolutely right. You are counting down. We are on borrowed time already, it feels like.
So like I'm self-aware. Like even in the moment I know, but I'm tired in that moment too. Anyway, so I was like, I gotta just bite the bullet and do it. I should not have told him that.
Oh, you definitely should not have told
That
him.
was a mistake.
Oh, you're a fool. You're never getting out.
So
Now you have like an accountability buddy that you didn't even ask for.
Right before New Year's, I said, I'm revising it. It's not every time. I'm going to do it more than I did.
That's
like,
good.
Just so he doesn't know. Because I cannot. If he then knows, he'll ask more.
Oh,
it's
my
going to
gosh,
be exponential.
It'll be forever. And then you know, you
gotta hit the sheets, man.
Yeah, and you gotta wean him off. The maybe. Or like, do we love that for forever? We love that until
I would love it for forever, but like if he's not cuddling with anybody else but only wants to cuddle with you at 23,
I think we're gonna start asking questions. I'm gonna be like, what's happening here?
Yeah, this is a Bates Motel scenario. Psycho for sure.
Oh yeah, he's keeping your body alive for sure.
Yeah, but these things have a way of working themselves out.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. It's fine. I can remember the year that my little brother, I think it was Lucas. No, it was Jordan. It was the last year he was going to be like a cute Halloween costume. And then it was, okay, you're just going to be the
dumb shit.
Yeah, like the boy zombie. You're going to do something with a sword, a weapon. Yeah, like, and it was Pinocchio was the last costume.
Oh, that's nice.
And my mom was like, this is where it, and I had an awareness. It was like I had like the sadness of like an elderly woman, even at that age. I was just like, oh, childhood gone. Yeah. Like just aware of it. But yeah.
It's like everything comes to an end.
Yeah, it does. Okay, what are we talking about? Oh, you know what? I did want to share this. I had an experience this winter that like over Christmas break that I have to brag about to somebody. I have to talk about.
Or in this case, to everybody.
Yeah, to everybody. Everybody is going to have to listen to this.
Yeah.
So I had one of the coolest fucking nights. I went to a riders party for the X Games where they had all of the like snowboarders and riders there. It was one of the coolest nights of my whole entire life.
Yeah, did you get to talk to people?
I talked to one woman who was a 2-time Olympian and X Games winner, and she commented on my Remy Wolf merch shirt that you told me to buy that said Dumb Snow Bunny, because I wore that. And she was like, oh my God, I love Remy Wolf. And I was like, and then I did something really stupid. I had an awkward moment. But tell me if you think that help me out, because this was one of those moments. So this woman who talked to me happens to be somebody who the snowboard boots that I own, I purchased from her off of Facebook Marketplace like 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, she commented on my shirt. Yeah. I bought her snowboard boots. We're destined to like have a conversation at the very least. I was like, she goes, oh, she looks at my shirt. She goes, oh, Remy Wolf, that's so cool. Like I went to her concert and I was like, oh yeah, that's so awesome. I love her. I bought your snowboard boots off Facebook Marketplace. Didn't respond. And then kept talking about Remy Wolf. So I think she didn't hear me.
Oh no.
Then I said it again because I'm a dummy. And she was like, cool. End of conversation.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Oh, my God.
Why'd I do that? When I bought them from her, I said to her, at the end of the transaction, I said, and I'm going to try to be cool and everything, but I can't pretend that I don't know you and haven't seen you on any X Games. And so this is really fucking cool.
And
she was like, awesome. Like she was very downplayed that a little too. Like wasn't engaged in the but come on, we're at a and I'm like, you're fucking just Red Bull. Hello?
That's brutal.
It was brutal. And it was just, I was like, God, I am so the old lady at this party now. And because I'm like talking about, oh, she must be like, I bet she's 26.
Well, maybe she's just immature.
Yeah, maybe. But she was real.
I got bad news for her about 15 years from now. She's going to be really wishing people would do what you just did.
Yeah, I was like, and I wanted to talk to her more, and then the person I was there with was like, "You want me to take a picture of you?" And I was like, "No, I'll die.
Yeah.
I don't want that from anyone." And there were so many. Like, I followed everybody who I'm there. Like, I knew who they were from. Like, I was fangirling hard.
Mm-hmm. What a treat!
It really was a treat. It was
so
like
nice. How did you get to go to that?
I went on a date with a gal who is friends with a person who works for like the alcohol company that put on the or like the promotion company that put on the event. And so we got an invite, and it was awesome.
I mean, I'm so happy.
I never thought in 1,000,000 years I would get to do something like that or be at that. And I mean, it just seems like if you were like a kid who watched like skate videos and like snowboard videos, all this kind of stuff, and you'd see like the parties that people would have like on those videos, and you're like, wow, like where do they even have those? And it just seemed like a
now you know.
And now I fucking know. And so I feel like you're never too old to live out your childhood dreams and fantasies.
Dang. But like these aren't your childhood people. These are new people.
Well, yeah, because my childhood people are old and retired.
Yeah, but what are they
and they're
doing?
actually filming now. They're filming documentaries on this. They work behind the scenes. They're like the coaches.
You don't want to meet those ones?
Oh, yeah, I would love to meet those ones. They're just not going to these parties. They're tired and old. They're living in their fucking huge-ass mountain homes and waking up early to go snowboarding the next day in their, like, ski-in, ski-out fucking, you know.
Yeah. They're fun.
That. Yeah, there was a skateboard tour that was, who was it? It's like Tony Hawk and another skateboarder like Bob Burnquist or somebody from that same era. And it was them, and they're doing like a sit down panel discussion. And I'm like, I want to go to that. That's like, those are the guys who I would be really into watching. But yes. So I had to share that, my little exciting moment.
I'll tell you what I'm into watching.
Oh, yes, please.
Is literally anyone cooking with their caraway cookware and bakeware.
Yes. Oh, I'm glad we're talking about this again because you mentioned banana bread in our last episode, and then it made me think of your caraway loaf pan.
Right.
Because I think that might be the next thing.
It is no joke. I mean, we have like a running joke about how like I can't resist the urge to demonstrate how the bread slides out. Yeah. But that's just because that's not what happens with normal bakeware.
Anybody who's watched any of those baking shows knows that moment when they flip it over, they're all terrified.
It's a nail biter.
You don't have to be terrified.
You don't, because it's non-stick yet non-toxic. So you don't have to worry, but like this baby is sliding out. And it is amazing. I don't know how they do it. And they're so cute because you can pick whatever color you want. And they're the best performing cookware and bakeware items I've ever used. I cannot say enough good things about them. Caraway's cookware set is a favorite for a reason. It will save you $150 versus buying the items individually. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/braincandy, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/braincandy or use code BRAINCANDY at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern.
Okay, so I just started watching this, but I want to talk about it. I literally subscribed to a month of Paramount Plus Peacock, so that I could watch the Girls Gone Wild Untold Story.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I just finished episode 1 and I am fascinated. This time period is because it lines up with when we started on kind of when you started on reality TV. And there's so much overlap with a lot of the things that we experienced on there. And I mean, you've watched the whole thing.
Yeah. It's,
What was your
I
feeling
watched
by the end of
another
it?
one also. That's why I didn't talk about it, because I watched a Girls Gone Wild documentary, but then this new one, Joe Francis participated in, at least audibly. And I mean, it's just really disturbing because number one, you see that he is a complete sociopath.
That is at the top of my notes.
I mean, just almost like textbook. Checks all the boxes.
The fact that he believes he invented reality TV is, I mean...
And when he got arrested, you probably didn't see this. When he got arrested, he compared himself to Jesus.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
And Nelson Mandela.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that kind of deal.
Like wrongful imprisonment, and he's
just
like
sort
fighting
of like
a cause.
persecuted.
Okay. All right.
And he's fighting this virtuous fight and sacrificing himself and just persecuted. You just cannot believe. And then, the footage you will see coming up, he assaults women on camera, security camera.
Right.
In a way that you wouldn't even imagine assaulting another man. Like, Jesus. Right in the face. Like, just, like, punching them and chasing them and terrorizing them.
Oh, my God.
And yet, the filmmaker said he is the luckiest man in the world. And it is true, because all of the reasons why he's not in jail right now are just like dumb luck. Like,
dumb
things
luck.
like dumb technical reasons, like legally, where like, oh, the prosecutor fucked up this thing.
Right. And those kind of mistakes make him think that he is justified and right in his actions, which he already does anyway.
Disturbing.
It is the most disturbing thing to see the way that celebrity culture supported all of that, supported Girls Gone Wild, the celebrity endorsements. Mm-hmm. It's the way that it legitimized him. Mm-hmm. That is the word. It legitimized him. And even how in the very beginning, he had a hard time getting this show, this like buy these videos commercial on TV. Nobody wanted to run the commercial. The whole thing, how it all started, was this banned from television show that then he thought, okay, maybe people would like to see just the women. We're going to sell this on TV just like people do, like free, 2 discs for free, just pay shipping and handling, low price, like all those infomercial. It was like an infomercial, basically. But no TV series or no networks wanted to air that. Then the Howard Stern show puts it on, and it just takes off. And it feels like, I just am reminded of that movie Sliding Doors, where it's just one thing has to happen, correct? He talks, everything was set up, and it could have been, if Howard Stern didn't exist, Girls Gone Wild wouldn't have made it on the air, wouldn't have, like this perfect storm, really, or recipe anyway, for this outcome. And I can't believe, but then totally can believe, that in the beginning of the whole Girls Gone Wild era or enterprise, whatever you fucking want to call it, the girls that they had, and I say girls because they were underage, they were just videos that he picked up from whoever had videos of women flashing, like he was going to the Valley and all these driving around LA to these like seedy video places saying like, what videos do you have? And women who did not even know that they were being filmed for something like this ended up in the previews, in the commercials. That is fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
That this even existed. I can't believe that we lived in a time where this was okay. And we don't want to And I remember being a kid and watching this and not thinking anything of it, not thinking, oh, this is terrible, not having the reaction that I'm having now.
It had very much like, well, let's face it, real world vibes.
Real world vibes, right.
Where it's like this girl next door who's like maybe exploring or, testing the waters, going into adulthood. That vibe. And I don't know if this was in the episode you saw, but one of the most interesting parts, I think it was in your episode, was about how the real valuable footage was not the tits.
Right.
It was the cameraman persuading the girl
right,
to show her tits.
Oh!
Because if a girl just wants to show her body, I mean, okay, that's a millisecond of pleasure. But if somebody doesn't really want to or feels a little scared or whatever and has to be tucked into it, well, that's a whole scene. That's a whole sort of like character building. You're getting to know, who is this person? And you're getting invested. Will she, won't she? Right? And they would actively talk about how it was so much more than just, like, otherwise it would just be tit.
Right.
But it wasn't. It was like
it's
the
not
discussion about,
absolutely.
well, why don't you just lift it up a little bit?
I can remember watching it and having, like I remember scenes. Like you're saying, they were scenes.
It's a scene and it's something is happening. Something is shifting. A woman who might not have done this 5 minutes ago might do it now. And it is because she's being coaxed and massaged into it by somebody else who's being exploited, which is the cameraman, who's not being paid extra or anything. He's being paid a normal cameraman wage. And being asked to be like basically like a reverse therapist.
Right.
To like get into somebody's
therapist.
Head.
Oh God, that's the creepiest. That's exactly what it is. And that's the creepiest.
And Sarah, I gotta say, I feel like when we've been in the interview room and the challenge, that's a reverse therapist a lot of the times
fucking
too.
% it is. Susie, I can remember specific questions and I know you can too, because they're the ones that make you feel, uncomfortable.
Yes.
If you guys, I wish you could see the video version of this, and Susie's face so perfectly captured it. It's this cringy, but also feeling like backed into a corner, like you don't want to do it, but you have to do it. And you feel it's a power dynamic. Like there's a power differential there. That is what this is. That feeling is we are powerless. And I think it may be hard for men to understand that feeling. In that same way.
Right, because they have value outside of it. Maybe I'm just in a dark place or something, but what I have learned is that no matter what investment I make in my brain, my career, or even my personality, like stand-up comedy, for example,
right.
The value that I bring is sexual. It's physical. And that I think to a certain extent, every woman sort of knows that that's true for them too.
Oh,
like it varies, but
right. That reminds me of Demi Moore's speech that she gave at the Golden Globes, where she said that somebody once told her, "You
are a popcorn actress."
And you will never be enough. You will never be enough. And that was the truth. She said, you are never, it doesn't matter how rich you are, how skinny you are, how tall you are, how whatever it is, fill in the blank. You will never be enough in the world's eyes or whatever. So just do it for you. Fuck it. Mm-hmm. You have to just...
And if you buy into it, like...
Yeah, you can't.
It's sort of a deception. It's not true.
Right. Right. You are enough. That's the fucking joke, is that yes, totally important point to make.
Yeah, but it's a deception that if enough people tell you, it sure seems true.
Right.
Right? Or if society or media or whatever tells you.
And it's what we all ultimately want, but it never.
Yeah.
Right.
But that it's very easy to buy into. And then they exploit that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take a break and talk about something that is very comforting and the opposite of this sort of viewing, which is our cozy earth.
Oh.
Bedding.
Yes.
Athleisure.
Yes.
Cozy hoodies.
My cohort, a woman that is my colleague at work, another clinician, swears by their socks.
Oh, yes. You keep telling me this, and I don't know why
she's
I
like,
keep
you gotta
forgetting.
try the socks. And this makes sense because when my feet are cozy,
my soul is.
Yeah. That starts there.
True.
It fucking is true. And you know when you have uncomfortable socks, it's like, I hate these. That's, yeah.
This is superior softness.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I wish you guys could just reach in here and feel the sweatshirt.
Everyone listening wants to reach into your hoodie and feel that, Sarah.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny? I did hear from somebody I was on a date with. They said, you have the most cozy clothes, like cozy.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I do.
And it is enhanced fabric. It gets softer with every wash. Sarah has tested it, as have I. We can agree with this. And if you're someone that has like night sweats or just gets hot in the night while you're sleeping, it's temperature regulation. That's why Sarah and I are now top sheet ladies.
Yes. Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Thought this was a hoax.
I did too.
You people in your fucking top sheets.
Because we didn't know. We weren't perimenopausal women.
Yes. And now you can get all this with 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty on those babies.
Yes.
Hello. Here's the deal. Visit CozyEarth.com and use our exclusive 40% off code Brain Candy. It's CozyEarth.com, exclusive 40% off code Brain Candy.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm gonna enjoy watching watching the rest of that. But I feel like it's important to watch.
It's important, but it's really hard to see that there really isn't justice.
I can remember being a little girl and I was very into boobs, and I still am. And I really when they talked about that HBO show Real Sex in there too.
Yeah.
I watched that. I just was like, I wonder if it was because I was sexualized at a young age, introduced to that. And it just felt like her, because I was young and, looking at that.
And that's thinking, okay. You're not, as the viewer, especially if you're a child, it's not on you to know, these girls are exploited and they were consenting either under the influence or not at all or whatever.
Right.
That's supposed to be handled legally, and it's not.
Do you remember seeing that younger? Okay.
Well, I wasn't as young as you.
You weren't as young,
so
right.
I was 18, 19, 20, and I remember observing the men see it.
Okay.
And get into it and be like, yeah. But it felt kind of like the Mardi Gras vibe, where it's like... Yeah.
But what did it teach you? What did it want? What did you take away in thinking, I as a woman
what I just
should...
said, that's my value.
Okay, that's my value. Right. Because it kind of felt like I should do that. I should... 100%. Because I want all the attention, and that's how I get it. And I absolutely am the person who flashed her tits on stage at a concert when I was under the age of 18. Definitely did that. There was an 80s metal tribute band called Steel Panther. that still plays, that tours around LA, and they're a phenomenal tribute. Like
they're like amazing musicians.
No, I mean the act. They put on a fucking show. You look at look at their Instagram or go do what Steel Panther.
What's the tribute that they're making? Oh, they do all 80s metal.
80s metal, like hair bands. They do Def Leppard. They do, and it's like a show, and people just go fucking nuts at these shows. And it felt like they're on stage and they're in the leather and the shirts with the off and da-da-da. And I was just like, woo! Like in the front row. And then they pulled me up on stage. And then I flashed the audience. And
There's nothing wrong with that.
In the audience is a girl I went to camp with. And she was like, I don't know how she, we met up later. She saw me later. She was like,
nice tip.
I thought that was you. I went to summer camp with you when I was a kid.
And you did the old, hey, my face is up here.
Yeah, totally. No, I was like, woo. And
wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. And I feel like there may have been a comment about me having small boobs that was made.
But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with doing that. If you're in the loop.
There is when I was 17 and felt like that was the fun. That was what I know that growing up in Girls Gone Wild culture made it so I felt like
that was what you ought to do.
That's what I ought to do.
Yeah.
And I wonder what I would be like if I were a girl growing up now that with a parent like me or something.
Yeah. I don't think it's as prevalent now.
I don't either. I really don't. That
maybe they have
wild.
A sense of how the internet's forever.
Yes, I think so, and I think we didn't.
No, we didn't.
I mean, we didn't even know that our reality TV show was going to get streamed again. I thought this was going away, and then
maybe reruns only.
Maybe
never streaming. That didn't exist.
That come on. I was we were returning Netflix to the red box.
But Netflix did not exist in 1998.
You didn't even have DVR.
No.
It was just
that
done.
Been great. Yeah.
Done. It
was reruns only, and that was bad enough.
Right, it was. Oh my God, Suze. What do you ever just zoom out and are like,
I try not to be honest with you, because
we have had a weird life. Mm-hmm. And what do I even highlight? What?
Well, anytime I've tried, it is not received in the way that I would want it to be. Mm-hmm. Anytime I've tried to explain this sort of,
oh my God,
psychic damage.
That's a good way to put it.
It's okay. I guess these people are fuck, I go to the office every day, Monday through Friday, and stare at a clock.
Right.
Okay, Suze, cry me a river. You podcast for a living now because you were on the show, and they are right. If I hadn't been on that show, I wouldn't be able to do stuff like this.
Right.
But what I'm referring to isn't the professional damage. Right. I'm referring to the damage to my sense of self.
Right.
And whether or not I have any value.
Right.
Which is so much deeper than just what job you have.
And I will say something that you work on and deal with. Oh, you keep it compartmentalized, you don't I think that helps. That makes it. You're not
I
bitter and angry at but
those are the clips that tend to get spread more widely.
That's true.
And so then what the fuck is this lady won't quit talking about?
And we're but we have to mention, and this is, I know there will be an untold story of MTV's Real World or Road Rules. This will happen.
Yeah.
Eventually we will have a documentary. They'll probably finally call us up, be like, let's get those two broads in here, because what will really be insulting is if they invite everybody else.
Yeah.
And they don't invite, and we're like, are you kidding me? That would be our luck.
CT will be like, I know, it's been terrible.
I'll be treating all of them and be unable to talk about it as a clinician.
Yes.
Have to just,
we will hear
I'll be
how
silenced.
It's affected Johnny.
Yes, exactly.
All these years.
Oh my God. Oh, are you ready for that? Because that's happening. Okay.
I am not ready
All
for
right.
that.
Well, let's see. Let's talk about other things. What else do I have on here to talk about? All right. This is interesting. I watched a little kind of like, one of those Vox documentaries kind of things on YouTube that's like a learning channel sort of thing. I don't know what you call it, but it was all on dinosaurs. And it talked about this problem, because this is the kind of stuff I get fed. The internet feeds me, Suze.
Yeah.
It talked about this problem that we have with paleo art. So paleo art is the art that we use to draw. Obviously, we can't take pictures of dinosaurs. We don't have those. So we have to draw them. We have to we have artists who draw them, or we have like recreations of them. So in I want to say this was around maybe about 5 years ago or so, and it's not that long ago, 2010. Yeah, this dinosaur expert named Matthew Weedle coined this term called shrink wrapping. That is something that we have done to pretty much all paleo art throughout time. So what shrink wrapping is what happens when you tight fit the soft tissue in any depiction of ancient animals to the bones. So basically, makes it look like they have minimal flesh or muscle. It's taking what we see are the skeletons. What we find of dinosaurs are the skeletons.
Yeah.
So what the artists tend to do is they wrap the skin around the skeleton, thinking that's what it looks like.
Right.
So this is what a lot of our paleo art looks like, and our depictions of dinosaurs look like, is we've taken these shrink wrap.
Limited.
Yes.
Yeah, limited info and then deduced incorrectly.
Totally incorrectly. Because if you did this to animals that we all know, you'd be like, "Whoa,
anybody that's seen a Siamese cat can say that does not look like a fucking cat."
Exactly. Very good point. That when you take the hair off of something, it does not look like what it's supposed to look like. So now these artists and paleontologists are going in, and thank goodness we are finding a few traces of some of the other parts of the animals, like the fatty tissue and things like that. A lot of these things are things that decompose, but we can kind of see, based on some of the fossil remains they find, these more like soft tissue. And long story short, dinosaurs were chubby.
No, which all?
All of them. Dinosaurs, all Tyrannosaurus Rex, that's a chubby guy.
Stop it.
Chubby buddy.
Bootylicious.
Bootylicious. All dinosaurs are probably way chubbier. Way chubbier than we even think.
He carried it in his neck, though.
They all of this, the approach that we have, overlooked fat layers, muscle bulk. It's even hasn't taken into consideration feathers, which we talked about before. Remember a while back I was telling you about how now we know that they have feathers. So now they're like chubby with feathers. They really did look like giant chickens, I think.
Who?
Just all the dinosaurs.
T-Rex?
Yeah, probably.
Feathers?
Yeah, probably. We don't know.
How come we don't know?
Because we're using this fucking shrink wrap theory.
Mm-hmm.
And here's this little piece, this fun little nugget. The Stegosaurus Tyrannosaurus time gap. The Stegosaurus.
You say that like I know what it is.
No, it doesn't. I just invented that. It's not a thing.
Oh, okay.
We have existed closer in time to Tyrannosaurus Rex than the Tyrannosaurus Rex did to Stegosaurus.
That's stupid.
Stupid! The Stegosaurus lived 150 million years ago during the Jurassic period.
They're not even friends?
How about T-Rex? Not even from the Jurassic period. So Jurassic Park, leaning real heavy into the whole T-Rex thing, when T-Rex is from the Cretaceous period.
Here's what I want to know.
What? which was only 67 million years ago.
Who is the T-Rex's PR person?
Right. T-Rex and Velociraptor.
Yeah.
Because get this one. Velociraptor, the actual Velociraptor, is so far off from what Jurassic Park, the franchise, whatever, depicted, that now they own the depiction of that Velociraptor for
so
Jurassic Park
false.
because it's not actually what they are. They're the size of chickens, have feathers, they're very small, they're not the same thing.
They're not even scary.
They're not even that scary at fucking all.
Wow.
I'm telling you, we don't know anything.
I feel like the T-Rex and the Velociraptor's publicist was like Tree Payne, Taylor Swift's publicist.
Yes.
Just fucking relentless nightmare person.
I mean, could you imagine?
Because why did the
don't
T-Rex
care that it's a different period. We're going to call it Jurassic Park.
Print it!
Yeah. Print the posters.
Well, so do you think that we just had the most of their bones?
We actually don't have the most of. We have so few bones. It is a joke.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Do we think maybe they didn't even exist?
They. Oh my God, no, Susie, I'm not that crazy. But I think they said that there are only, I think it was 15 to 18 complete skeleton. It's a number that's in the tens. We have remains. We have bits and pieces that we put together, but we don't have.
This is what the skeptics bring up, where they're if it were that many.
There are pits that they find. There's one in this video that I was watching where they estimate between 6,000 and 9,000 different dinosaurs that were in there, and they got real excited because they found a skull. And that was very rare.
Listen, I don't want to add fuel to the fire, but I would like an explanation for why we don't have more.
I mean,
what is the problem?
Susie, it was 150 million years ago, and we've had multiple extinctions since then. What's the problem? Time? Destruction of material over millions and millions of years?
Is that what they would say,
and 100%. That how do you keep something around for if I went and buried a chicken bone in the backyard, that shit ain't lasting 150 million years.
It is fun to ask things to I know what you're going to say, but it's still hilarious.
Should get me all worked up.
Well, because I want to play, not devil's advocate, but just sort of let's consider it.
Right.
Let's also consider the amazingness that is Thrive Cosmetics.
Please. I mean, I hope I got you convinced that you got to try some of their other face products, their primer and stuff. You did convince
me because
and then I think they have a setting powder, and I want to try that, or setting spray.
I use that. It's great.
Yeah, I want to try that because I'm in the set it and forget it. I don't want to do that.
The setting spray is great, and I would tell you.
I love how excited you just got about that.
Yeah.
That was a genuine fucking reaction.
Yeah, it was.
I want that video because I know that feeling where you're I need to tell you about that, right? And you're coming out of your skin. Welcome to my world, Susie. Yes. I live there.
Yeah, because for real, that setting spray is phenomenal. I should have already told everybody this.
I didn't know this. You got, Suze.
I know.
If you get a new thing, you say it on here like I did. So we know.
Okay. But I was a primer girl. And then I stopped because I was what am I doing? Because it feels like the primers sometimes, not Thrives, but other ones I've used, it's am I putting just petroleum, freaking ethanol, gasoline on my face?
It could be greasy.
That's what it feels like. And it kind of smells like that. And so I was I feel like I'm falling for a scam and it's probably bad for you. But then what you just told me last episode about Thrive's primer.
Yes.
It's changing my mind.
Yes. It almost feels like a powder when it goes on. It feels weightless.
Light.
It is
okay.
very
well, that's a different
light.
story.
It'll actually make your makeup on top feel better. Like it doesn't feel.
Okay, well that makes me feel good.
It's like a barrier. Love,
Right.
love, and no problem. My skin.
Perfect as always.
I mean, knock on wood, I haven't had a zit in a long time.
Okay, that's all I need to hear. Thrive Cosmetics is luxury beauty that gives back because for every product purchased, Thrive Cosmetics donates products and funds to help communities thrive, which we friggin' love. Right now, you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/braincandy. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETIS, or METICS.com/braincandy for 20% off your first order. If you need to refresh your memory, or if I just confused you, you can go to our website and check out the link there and find the information. But we love those guys.
I know all of our listeners are brainy people who have to spell things along with you, and their brain were just like, "That's not how you spell." Like, I
got
can see
you.
that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, talked about dinosaurs. Check. Oh, this was interesting. This was a study that came out a little bit ago, but feels very brain candy appropriate. There was a study that was done on the link between eating and female desire.
Okay.
And researchers were exploring how hunger impacts women's responsiveness to romantic stimuli. So
Okay.
I'll give you the spoiler. We are more open to romance when our bellies are full.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
The study took, and I will admit, this is
I'm mad. I don't even know why. I don't know why.
This is like wine me and dine me. Before this is like buy me dinner. This is like why we say buy me dinner first. Okay, it didn't say that in the article, but it fucking should have because that's an amazing joke. They really missed out on an opportunity there. So I'm taking that.
I'm just mad because it's like I want to always be intellectually in control. I don't want any kind of thing.
You're more likely to want to canoodle when you have a full belly. But this kind of matches like maybe like a I'm hangry sort of thing. Like, you know, when you're like hungry, like get off of me. So they looked at, and I will say, like I said, this is small sample size. So they looked at 20 women who were shown romantic and neutral images under two conditions. One of them was after fasting, and one of them was after consuming a 500-calorie meal replacement drink. And I guarantee you will see this article come up. Valentine's Day is getting close. Mm. You're going to see this article come up a whole bunch. And this the headline. And I just want you to know that you got all the details of it here.
Yeah,
because
you heard it here first.
It is basically like, am I friendlier when I'm hangry is what this should be titled. So the women were more responsive. The findings were that the women were more responsive to romantic cues when they were full compared to when they were hungry. So they flashed these images and they had more of a response to the romantic stimuli after they had eaten. And so the theories for this are just that hunger preoccupies the brain so much with thoughts of food that it basically just doesn't allow any room for.
That's what I think a lot. Like, you know, there's a lot of jokes about Ozempic and stuff like that, but I think a lot about how if you're somebody that struggles with the, you know, overeating or just like your weight or whatever, so much of it is about like the voice of like, give me more, give me more.
Absolutely.
And when people start on these Ozempic and the like, I forget what they're called, GLP, whatever they are.
Yeah.
It quiets that, and what a relief that is, and what great. It's so great that it leaves room for like them to just like think about other things. Yes.
You know, I can't remember where I read this, but it said that when women wake up, the very first thought they have in the morning is of food. And women can be very judgmental of that thought, thinking, oh, it's like I can't stop thinking about that. But that is because we are biologically programmed to usually be the ones to feed children, offspring, like that is is part of our like biological wiring. Mm-hmm. And I think men's was like the first thing they thought about was sex, or the first thing they thought about was like procreation.
Because I recently watched the most recent Jim Gaffigan comedy special. Yeah. And I had basically given up on him.
Oh, I thought this one was so good.
He was like a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we get it. Like the food thing and the voice and the whole thing. And then I watched this one, and as you know, he is now on one of these Ozempic-like things.
Yeah.
And he acknowledges it, which I appreciate, number one. Uh-huh. And number two, it clearly left so much more room for him to explore other topics. Like he did this bit about like Jesus walking on water that I thought was like, I can't believe nobody did that bit before. It was like revolutionary. I just was like blown away by it. And I'm like, Jim Gaffigan? But I know that I'm like connecting dots here that I have fucking no idea about. But like, I felt like that's why.
I think you're right, because you know how I am when I take my ADHD meds, and you're like, oh my God, you're so much funnier and you're way better. Your timing's better. Everything's better when you're medicated. And it feels like the extra work that our brain has to do, no matter who you are and what thoughts you struggle with.
Yes.
If you can take away your brain's preoccupation with something else, it creates mental bandwidth.
Absolutely. And that's why these drugs are working with other kinds of addicts.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have to be food. It could be alcohol, drugs. It could be a lot of different things that one could be preoccupied with.
Yeah.
And I bet it quiets that. And then you are the thing that comes out. And it's like, you're amazing.
I have time for romance because I'm not thinking about if I'm hungry or not.
And it gives me like more compassion. Because it's easy for somebody who does not struggle with like food preoccupation to be like, get a hold of yourself. Stop eating.
Right.
Which is how I have felt in the past, where I'm like, this is get a hold of your addiction. Right. When I see that this is something that like people would love to get a hold of.
Right.
If they could.
And then when they can, you're like,
this wasn't you. This was like a chemical disrupting who you are.
Absolutely.
That's what I feel now.
Absolutely. Good. Look at that. That's great, Suze.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like when people say like, oh, it's the easy. It's like I don't think that. I think
it's like
thank God
that
this is
feeling when you want to pick at your face and somebody says don't, or like when I'm biting my nails and somebody's like don't, and you're like don't fucking tell me no, because I have to do this right now. And like if somebody was like don't pick at your, I'm like, well, I'm going to. Mm-hmm. So fucking shut up.
And like imagine what if you don't have the urge to pick your face, to bite your nails.
The freedom, like what the relief, the time it would,
being a person is hard. And isn't it nice if like scientists can assist?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why, maybe we shouldn't poo-poo these studies like that, even with a small sample size and
Sarah,
all that can lead insight into other things that could have but
what
this
annoys
was in the
me
Journal
though
of
about
Appetite,
this one,
like what the fuck even is that?
What annoys me about this one, and I'm sure it's not, but my sense was like, why they aren't doing these studies on men, because they're like,
I don't think it works the same on men.
Yeah, I know, but that's like just accepted. Like, yeah, they're horny fuckers. Okay, let's figure out what makes women horny fuckers.
Yeah,
like almost like they want to know, like, when are they horniest?
Ew.
You know what I mean?
That is what they want to know.
Okay, feed them.
This is, for all the people out there who are like, guys, it's not women doing this, who are like, oh, I don't want to take them to dinner first. Well,
take us.
You should.
We don't want it because we're all on Ozempic.
To get some, or at least make them more interested in romance when you're like that. So,
well, because what I hear about the dating world, I mean, these guys think they don't need to go on dinner dates and pay anything.
It is terrible.
What is going on?
Suze, I don't know. I am not part of that world. I am in the lesbian dating community.
Gay.
It is fucking fantastic. There are needs are being met right and left. The dinner is
but what is
made for you.
Paying the bill scenario
Please.
With the leses? Is it 50-50?
No, whoever initiates the date is the one who takes care of things.
Until
unless you're just
when?
going out for unless you're just going out
Let's
together.
say you're a
and
couple and you're exclusive
50-50.
forever.
Well, unless I've had talk conversations about this.
That's what
and
I
I
wanna
said,
know.
like, okay, if I say I'm taking you, like, I want to do this, I'm taking you out, my treat, I'm taking you out, you're letting me do this, and just so we're clear.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're just going out to dinner, then we can split it. And
what if, like, one of you drinks way more or something?
well, I mean,
You know
that's
what I
not
mean?
been, that's not been
I know
my
that's not been your
experience
experience,
yet.
but like, what if
But if
there's
I
somebody who
saw
orders
that-
way more? Because I'm a big orderer. I'm like, yeah, I love like going out and getting appetizers.
But you know, when I'm the one initiating the date, I'm like you. I'm like, yeah, run it, get them all.
well, I mean,
We're doing
I always
it.
pay, but I'm just
What?
saying, like, what if somebody did that and then wanted to split?
I don't know if anybody that I would get to the point of, hey, we're splitting things, would be that person. Would be like, I would know there, and it tends to be like the people I've hung out with are very generous and very like, that was
I'm just
one of the
checking
things on my
because-
list of like non-negotiables is lead with generosity. And I have gotten nothing but givers with women.
Okay,
It's like
That
you
makes
got to
me
fight
happy.
these bitches to like actually
That's what I
take them out and
want.
pay for a date and like, you
I
know,
want,
and then
like,
they want to like
baby
do
oil
things
and
like
Jell-O.
yeah, all of that. Oh yes, there and like, oh, here I'm sending you home with like this
Yeah.
meal I made and this like here's some skincare for you. Let's do facials together.
Yeah,
Come on,
there's no man.
it's a
I get it.
fucking dream.
Say no more. All right. Well, we covered a lot.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll save my other
T-Rexes?
stuff for the next episode.
Save it. I mean, you can. Do you want to do something?
No, I've
now?
got a long one.
A long one.
Well, I mean, so, like
I
I've
just
got a
wasn't
lot
sure
to
what you
talk
said.
about. Oh yeah, long. Yes.
Okay,
I've
no
got,
problem.
I got these ones. So the half an hour of material.
Okay, cool.
Get us all
We did
wound up
learn
again.
T-Rex is thick.
Thick boy, 2 C's. And not part of Jurassic Park.
It's so weird.
Right.
I'm still unsatisfied with the explanation on why they are like the stars of the dinosaur community. How did they get such great coverage?
That's a good point.
Do we have the most of their bones?
You know what? We might have found one of their skulls and just went
And
with
that
it.
long neck, it was just like,
Yeah. And those teeny tiny little arms. I just can't imagine they didn't have wings attached to those. I just think they did. Why would
Okay.
they have such, right? Look at what
It does. I know.
Look at what a chicken looks like.
it makes no sense that they'd have those arms.
It doesn't make sense. They probably flew. I don't even fucking know. I know nothing.
But they were reverse therapists on Girls Gone Wild. That was
Oh
a
my God.
revelation. I feel like we made some progress there.
I am hanging up after we finish this, and I'm going straight downstairs to watch the rest of that
It
because
gets worse.
I know, but I have to see. It's like I don't know why I have to know about, because I feel like it was impactful in I don't know, like it had an impact in my
In the next
something.
episode, you'll see about the short-lived spin-off Guys Gone Wild.
Oh God. Oh, for gay men only. Yeah, come on. We all know that.
But like the lady that was like going out and trying
Yes.
whatever. Well,
Yes.
she had to do that with the guys, and so like these are straight guys,
Right. Gay
and
for
they're
play.
and so she had to like be talking to them through the whole process.
Oh God. That seems so not okay.
She should be really more sorry.
Oh God.
Because she was like, I feel exploited. I'm like, fuck you, bitch.
You were.
Because she like had to talk them into the whole thing. And it's like, yeah, you were exploited, but like you're exploiting someone else.
People. Right. Oh God. This is like,
anywho,
Oh,
we all need to take a shower after that.
Yeah, we do.
But Happy New Year. Yeah. We'll see you next time. Bye.